787.
787 departure frequency 15 will be 1257.
257, thanks.
Yeah. And he was, just for the people that are listening or watching, he was, he kind of started the Peyote church, or what was, I've read his name in many places, in the museum, and heard some stories, but never really truly what he was about.
Well, it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
I know that he was the leader. And there was a story that I had heard years and years ago, and I told that story. I can't remember who I told it to. I think maybe John Barry.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, so it really wasn't started by by Moonhead. And I said, well, he had to have been one of the men
Mm-hmm.
who had been designated,
Right.
you know. But it's an old story. Now, not very many people know this, and I haven't even told very many people
Oh, really?
how it started.
Right.
But as the story goes, there were and I don't even know what tribe
Mm-hmm.
the people were, but they were in an area excuse me, where they were running out of food. They didn't have, they couldn't find any. The buffalo had moved off, and they couldn't. They were lacking food for their camps, and so they decided they'd send a group of hunters to go and get some deer. Get some deer and whatever, and bring food back to the camps. There were several camps. And so, so they got a group together, and there were probably 6 or 8, maybe 10. I don't know how many people. They didn't say how many.
Sure.
But there were at least 3 women that went with them. And you know why? The women were the ones that did the butchering.
Okay.
They cut up the meat and stuff.
Okay.
So they took the women with them. And so, because if they'd kill a deer and they'd go off and leave it, the women would have to take care of the meat while they went hunting for more.
Right.
You see. And so, so these women went with them. And they were off down in Texas area someplace, way down close to the Rio Grande.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were riding pretty hard, to get down to the country where they were going to be hunting. And so one of the women got sick. And so they decided, well, they better leave her and let her get over her, I don't know, she's...
Yeah, you can move that way. You can hit it. It's strong.
So they kind of made a little camp around some I forget what you call those little trees, that don't grow very high. Excuse me. Anyway, they had blankets, and they kind of made her a little camp spot, and left water for her and stuff like that. And they said, we'll be back in about 2 days.
Oh.
And so she had enough to last her that long, because they were going to go on hunting. And so, okay, they went off and left her. So she was under this kind of little canopy tree, and she was lying there on her blanket, and I guess she was kind of went out of her head,
Sure.
with the fever.
Yeah.
She had a fever, and so her fever got so high that she was hearing things, and she was seeing things, she was hearing things, and she heard this voice came to her, and the voice came to her and said to her, I'm going to teach you a song, and you sing this song. When you sing this song, you put your hand out like that, and you feel around on the ground, and you'll find some food. And you get that, you find some plants, and you pick that plant and you eat it, and when you eat it, that's medicine, and that medicine is going to make you well. It will make you well, and then you would recover, But take time to do that. So there she was, and then you listen to these songs, and then when you go back home, when you get back home, you go and teach these songs to the chiefs, and teach them these songs, and tell them that these are medicine songs. These are medicine songs. And then you take some of that medicine with you, and you show it to them, and where you got it, and you tell them to go and get that medicine, and you bring it back. When they bring it back, then they'll have the meetings, and they'll sing those songs. Okay. So there she was, she's out, unconscious, out of her head. And so pretty soon she could hear this singing. And she started singing along with it, She was singing this song, just singing along, and she put her hand out like this on the ground, just bare ground, and she felt something down there. It kind of felt like a little knob, so she pulled on it. That was the medicine. And she got a hold of it, and she ate some of it. She ate some of that. So she started feeling better. And, and so she'd just drink her water. And the songs kept coming to her. And more songs and more songs. And when she'd hear the songs, then she'd reach out and she'd find that medicine. And she kept taking the medicine, and drinking the water. And after a day or so, she was feeling a lot better. By the time the hunters came back, she was sitting up. She was already well. She had taken that medicine. She told them the story. And they said, "Oh, okay." Says, "Well, they got some of that medicine." They looked around, they found some. And they took it with them, and they went back to their camp. So she goes to the chief's camp, his teepee, whatever, and told him the story. And they brought that medicine to him. She sang those songs. She taught him those songs. They taught him those songs and taught him how to use the medicine. And so they did, and that's where it came from. That's how we got.
Wow. Wow.
And so when I told that story to John, they said, "Well, it wasn't a man who did it after all. Then it was a woman."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, the women have to feed everybody."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's why they took them along with them, so they could cut up the meat,
Right.
and that sort of thing. So anyway, that was a story that I heard, and I have never heard it again from anyone else. And I don't know who told it to me.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was a child, but I just remember. I remember the story. And it was probably sometime during my grandfather's time, whenever he was a chief, and he was also a roadman.
Okay.
You know what a roadman is?
I don't. Yeah.
A roadman is a leader of the Native American church.
Okay.
And when I told you he went to Washington so many times, they tried to outlaw the use of peyote.
Right.
And so he went up there numerous times to protect that, the right for us to have that medicine. Because to us, it was a medicine.
Right.
And they didn't have any right to take it away.
Right.
So we still have it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he worked hard to keep that. And it wasn't just but it was for all Indian people. Everybody that believed in our Native American church.
Sure.
And Moonhead was one of the leaders. So he went down at his country. He had a lot of meetings down there, and then they'd invite him to come different places.
Okay.
So that's how he would go, and he would lead churches in different places, and they would picked that up, and so that's how it kind of got.
Spread around a little
Yeah.
bit. Was Moonhead also considered a roadman?
Oh yes.
Okay, you're right.
Oh yes. Yes, he was a roadman.
787 departure, frequency 15 will be 125 minutes.
25-7, thanks.